Hello everyone, Danny Jose here for another product review, and this time it's for the Saltwater chlorine generator. And as I mentioned in my last product review of the hot tub covers that I purchased off Hot Tub Covers Canada, I also ran across the chlorine generator for spas. So my pool is a saltwater pool, and everybody loves, and I love the saltwater pool. Use it a lot more. It's really nice on the skin. So I figured, why not change my hot tub into a saltwater hot tub? To do that, I purchased a product called ChlorMaker, and it's about $400. There's other products on the site there that has other features, but this one was the most cost-effective for me, and it does the job. I've had it for about a few weeks now, and it works perfectly. I've had to adjust some of the settings, but now I've gotten to a point where it's generating the chlorine properly. So I'm going to go review this product today and just go through a little bit of the installation and just a little bit of some frequently asked questions that I've come across as well for these saltwater chlorine generators. All right, fill in my hot tub now. It's almost ready to go. So trying this out, and it says to add 2.5 cups of salt per 100 gallon of water. So my tub is 400 gallons, so I'm going to add 10 cups of salt. So it's not too much salt, and I'm just going to use regular pool salt for this, and I can use the rest of it in my pool as well because my pool is salt. It's a saltwater pool as well. Like I mentioned, after going through the process of ordering a new hot tub cover, I noticed that there was this chlorine maker for spas and hot tubs, and it's a chlorine generator for saltwater hot tubs. And basically it replaces all the chemicals that you would use to chlorinate your hot tub. It replaces the bromine or chlorine. I hate the smell of chlorine, and bromine, it also has, not a pleasant smell. So this is going to replace it with a natural, environmentally friendly salt water hot tub. And so the package came, and it came in this box. In the box it came with the ChlorMaker control, and then it has the salt cell. So basically you'll see the water flows through that little hole there, and it interacts with the metal rods in this cell, and then it converts the salt through a low voltage current, powers that up, and converts the salt into chlorine. And so you get this constant flow of chlorine, little amounts of chlorine that goes and cycles through your hot tub. And so I'm going to install it. The cables are pretty lengthy, so I'm hoping it'll reach the outdoor outlet to my hot tub, and then this rod just drops into the hot tub when it's being chlorinated. So other things that came in the box, there's the tester for the chlorine level, and then another container for the salt water tester, just to make sure that there's enough salt in the water. The first thing I need to do is weatherproof this outdoor outlet. I should have done this sooner, but now is a good time as ever. So basically I bought one of these weather proofing covers for a GFI outlet, and basically this screws on top of the existing plate, and then it just covers it and protects it from the weather. There are other versions of this that you can get at a Home Depot. There's one that actually covers the whole outlet, but since I already have the box here, this just goes right on top of the face plate. So this is nice and snug and installed. So now I could open this up, plug it in, and then that closes and it protects from the weather. I could have put this thing in here and plugged it in and protected from the weather, but the problem is this only has two outlets. So, and I need an extra one for my patio. So I'm going to run an extension cord from here to this, and then it'll be able to fit that. Otherwise, it's not going to fit in here. I mean, I can only, if I put it in here, it'll cover the whole thing. So if you don't need the outlet for anything else, as you can see, you can kind of use it. Actually, just come to think of it, you can't even use it because it's not big enough. You'll have to get an extra size of this. And when I went to Home Depot, there wasn't a big size. There's double outlets, but it's not tall enough. So I guess, yeah, you're gonna have to run an extension cord. All right. I'll feed that underneath my deck, and so it's nice and hidden from everything else. But I just wanted to plug it in, make sure the unit is working. And I'm probably gonna fix this underneath my deck as well, so to protect it from the weather. I might even put a little bit of a casing, a box around it, so just to protect it from the weather. So once you have your wiring in place and your ChlorMaker installed, you now have to check that, make sure that the salt is okay. If there was too much salt, this would blink salt high, and obviously salt low if the salt levels are too low. Now this ships with level 3, and so the power level, you need to readjust it depending on the size of your spa. Mine is a 400-gallon spa. It's about the range of the 5 to 6 power level. Now I've started off with 5, but I find that it does take a little bit more chlorine, so I do have to adjust it to 6. So how to adjust the power level is you basically hold these two buttons, arrow up and down. You hold it together, and then you press desired level. So 1, 2, 3, because it defaulted to 3, so I needed to add 3 more. So now it should blink 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now it's set at level 6. And you do the same process if you want it to blink down. So if I wanted to change it back to level 5, you hold down the up and down arrow, and then you press 1. So now it's going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wanted to do some extra protection here for weatherproofing. So what I did was I kind of took a Tupperware and drilled a hole on either side, and then cut down to the hole so that I can feed, put the wire through there. And then once I've done that, put it inside, and then just cover this up and seal it, and just a little bit of extra protection from the weather. Here's a salt cell, and the chlorine comes out of these 2 holes here as when it generates. So earlier I set the power level, so I set it to power level 5, and that means there's 5 hours of salt generation. So in this segment, I wanted to cover some commonly asked questions that I get from people that have started to use my saltwater hot tub. One of the common questions is, do you taste the salt in the water? For this chlorine generator, I had to add about 8 to 10 cups in this hot tub, and this hot tub has 400 gallons of water. So that's about 1500 to 2000 parts per million in the water. Now, to give you a comparison, sea salt has 35,000 parts per million. So that's significantly a lot more salt. So you do taste the salt when you swim in the ocean, but in the hot tubs, you hardly taste the salt.
You do feel it on the skin, and you feel the softness. It's a lot different from bathing in a chlorine or bromine hot tub. You feel kind of, you feel that itchiness, and sometimes that kind of that smell, and you can smell the chlorine and the bromine from your skin. Whereas in this the salt water, you don't have that chlorine or bromine smell. It's also really easier on the skin, like I said, because you're not using packaged chlorine or bromine. It's not as harsh of chemicals. It is chlorine though, so these saltwater chlorine generators, you're still generating chlorine, but it's a more natural way of generating that chlorine through the electrolysis process. Another common question is it safe to have these salt generators in the hot tub? Well, it's low voltage. It's 5.5 DC volts, and that's approximately 4 of the 1.5 volt batteries. And so it's very low voltage. I generally take out the salt cell when I'm bathing or when people are bathing in the hot tub, and that's kind of more of peace of mind, but it's totally safe. Another question is how often you replace the salt or add more salt to the water. So you generally don't add salt once you get it right level. The only time that you would add more salt is if you were to replace the whole hot tub water with fresh water. And then you would just add your new set of 8 to 10 cups in the hot tub, depending on the size of your hot tub. But generally, the salt is converted and with interaction to the titanium cells, and then that chlorine then eventually turns back into salt. So you never really lose salt in the water. Now you might lose some salt from water discharge when people are splashing or whatever, and you lose water and you have to add more water. So you might lose some salt levels that way, but generally you don't need to add more salt. Another common question is, does it ruin your hot tub? Does it corrode your equipment in your hot tub? Well, your hot tub's made out of vinyl, plastics, even the pump wheels, the wheels that turn the water or pump through the water, it doesn't corrode. It's made out of material that is not corrosive. In fact, chlorine and bromine would be more corrosive than what's in here, or the salt water that's in here. So there's nothing in the water or the equipment that the water touches that would be corroded by the salt. Just to give you an idea, your hot tub generally is made out of vinyl. It's the same material generally that you find in boats. So these boats are in salt water, and they're perfectly fine in sea salt. All right, that's about it for my review. If you like this video, then please hit subscribe or hit like on the video. And if you have any comments, feel free to post. And stay tuned for the next review.